History and humor, issues and events, empowerment and entertainment, all in one station.
What's really going on?
Free enterprise, you dig?
KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes!
Oh yeah. We got a lot to talk about.
King Kong ain't got on me.
On time, can't believe the words to her I just said. But who the hell argue and fight like dogs at 6 in the morning? I know it's gonna be some more shit tonight. Oh, yeah. Our past is calling, telling me I done went too far, and I'm seen around town and my friends can't recognize me, 'cause I took a good chance on love. It's like I'm dying. For you, I gave my heart and turned my back against the world, 'cause you were my girl. I done damn near lost my mama. I done been through so much drama. I done turned into the man that I never thought I'd be. I'm ready to sign them papers. I done take what you let me know. I can't deny how much I love you. I didn't give a bad thing, I had to. As hard as it is, I'm afraid I gotta say, I'm ready to sign them papers.
Go on, Ursha. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. That is Papers from Usher.
Woo! Nice one, Andy.
Man, you be digging into crates, don't you? That is
Yes.
a forgotten track from Usher right there. Man, I'm trying to go see that cat in Vegas in February.
Does he open? Is it February or March?
It might be March.
I think it goes back in March. I'm not sure, but I have to go.
Got to.
I have to go.
Man, and how big is that auditorium? It's not huge.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's kind of intimate, right?
I think so, but I'm not sure.
I want to see that cat.
I have to. Yeah, it'll be a good one. I hear great things about it.
And you also hear great things about the Rob Report. Andy, get into it. Let's go. Come on, man.
You ready?
Come on. It's the Queen of Royal Badness.
It's time for the Rob Report with Robin Ayers. Highlighting people and things you should know about. From entrepreneurs and entertainers to money and meditation, Robin's got you covered.
Get out of here!
Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Rob Report on the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Robin's got a lot to talk about.
You know, I love this topic tonight.
Leg out.
But I love these topics as well. Let's get into some entertainment and what's going on. Your girl, Sweetie, she's in the news right now. Okay, and Danny, I know you had something to say as to bad timing, but Sweetie, she dropped her album. She sold 2,000 copies first week. I mean, that's almost unheard of.
I know independent artists that are selling out at the trunk.
Yeah, and here's the thing about it. She's got over 13 million followers. And so it doesn't translate. I don't know what's going on, but people, of course, are clowning her online, talking about, basically what you said. I know people, I know independent artists who would sell more than that. I think that that's really embarrassing, to be honest with you, because she's been out here, and don't get me wrong, she's actually has some platinum singles. She's done some great music. She's making a great name for herself. But then to drop an album and only sell 2K your first week is just not very good. Someone said, I don't have the tweet in front of me, but someone said basically, if that were the case, if I came out and I had 13 million followers and only sold 2,000 copies my first week, I would delete everything. I would delete all of my socials because they were like, somebody is lying to me, which in a way you would think like, okay, do y'all really support me or don't you? What are your thoughts? You said that she had bad timing dropping the album.
Migos are going through a crisis right now.
Mm-hmm. So if you don't know, the connection, I guess, with Sweetie, and she used to date Takeoff. Mm-hmm. And so Quavo. I've been doing that all day. I've been saying Offset when I really mean Takeoff.
I did the same thing. I posted it on the day of his death, and I put Offset instead of Takeoff.
Yeah. So I mean, sorry about that. She used to date Quavo and obviously had a relationship with all of them, but so soon after his passing, you know, she puts out a song, and I think she referenced him in a song as well. So people were not happy about that.
I think people are making the connection. She's trying to capitalize on the death of Takeoff. I think it's a fair accusation that they're making. Why would you drop that album now?
Okay, excuse me. What's appropriate? What is appropriate?
Give it a year.
Wait, no, not to drop an album.
Yeah, give it a year.
I think that's asking a little bit much.
People are still. Did you see Cardi B on Instagram today? Is that in there?
Yeah, we're talking about that as well.
She said that like Offset is crying all the time about this entire thing. People need time to heal, and it smells like she's trying to capitalize on this.
What if people? You know, I've seen people. They have plans to drop an album, and then something happens right then and there where they push back their album like a week or two just out of respect. A year, I think, is a bit much.
Okay,
especially when you had plans already. Okay. 6 months. You think 6 months she should put, but that I mean is essentially sort of, you know, you have to reroute, you know, what's going on for your career at the same time.
Tough.
Really?
We lost a giant in hip hop that she was connected to. Sorry, you got to push that thing back. And she's falling off because they say Quavo used to write them rhymes. That's what they're saying. Without him, I haven't heard the music. I'm sure it's not good. But her and...
You said I'm sure it's not good?
I'm sure it's not good. Quavo used to write that stuff.
How do you know that?
So now, I'm thinking... Maybe,
how do you know that?
Maybe she and DaBaby need to go on a tour together.
Oh, my goodness.
Because neither one of them can sell anything right now.
I don't know. I don't know. All I can say is I don't think it's fair for her to have to push back an entire year, but something is up. Something is not right. And then this one song that people are accusing her of talking about, Quavo, could it be bad timing? Sure, maybe she could have waited a little bit longer, sure, but I don't think that's the overall reason that people aren't supporting her music. Something is not adding up here.
You and I always talk about reading the room, being self-aware.
Yep.
What makes you think it's a good idea to put out an album in the height of losing Takeoff? What makes you think, that's a good time? There has to be something within you that taps you on your shoulder and go, you need to push that back a little bit.
But there's also there's no like manuscript on it either. You know, it's just to be honest with you, I think that everybody's going to be different according to what your relationship was like. Not, you know, if you're not, are you saying all artists should push it back because we lost the giant?
If you're connected to that giant, yeah. And she is connected, indirectly connected, but connected nonetheless.
Very indirectly connected.
Yeah.
And I hear what you're saying. I just don't think that it's proper for her to have, you know, pushed it back so she is kind of suffering the consequences.
Rightly so.
Let's be clear.
I just think it's wrong to disparage the name of one of the Migos when we just lost one of the Migos. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I hear that. And you know what? You're right. We will talk about Cardi B and what's going on with her and this Canadian comedian. Her name is Nicole Arbor, but that's going to be a little bit later. We'll talk about they're having some beef, but it brings up a really good question that I want to know about. So that's going to be our question of the day. What do you think Saweetie should do to salvage her career? Can you come back from that? Because you're almost looked at as being tainted now and sort of an example of like maybe what not to do. Is there anything she can do to salvage this?
You got to go back to basics. I'm looking at Iggy Azalea right now.
Okay.
Iggy is touring all over this country. Small venues, clubs, radio runs.
She's got to start all over. Saweetie's got to start all over.
You got to rebuild. You got to rebuild your brand. And for some reason, there is just something negative that is not grabbing the conscience of the community anymore. She used to be on top. She had a freaking meal at McDonald's, didn't she? Or was that Burger King? Was it McDonald's?
It was
the Saweetie meal, right?
Yeah, it was like Burger King.
She was,
I think it was Burger
balling.
King.
But not anymore. Let's start over. If I was her, you know what she should have done? Put out a really positive track about Takeoff.
Kind of like what Puff did. He got all the people together to all the artists to make the song about Biggie.
Should have done that.
Because that was the other question. Is that because they put out a song obviously pretty much right after Biggie died? Is that considered okay just because it was a positive song.
They would say
Or
that's
is that still a little-
capitalizing too.
That is 100%. And you put it in one of your versus battles saying that was what like the number one. How long was that on the charts?
It was one of the verses I've dominated, which is 80% of them. What you do is you put out a positive track and you give all the proceeds to charity.
You give all the proceeds to charity.
To gun violence or what have you. That's what you do. Andy, you were going to say something?
I have a theory.
Oh, shoot.
Okay.
So, there was drama amongst Saweetie and Quavo, obviously prior to
On tape,
prior to Takeoff's death.
Yeah.
And hold on, can't hear myself. But anyways, Quavo and Takeoff, they dropped a song called Messy, which was a diss to Saweetie. Apparently, Saweetie kind of stepped out of the relationship. And I think it was with somebody that was close to the group. So my theory is that Quavo probably, pull some strings, some political things, kind of like what 50 did to Ja Rule a little bit to make sure that Sweetie's album didn't do too well.
You think he called some radio stations, called some promoters, and said, do not give this girl any shine?
I would not be surprised.
Oh, man.
Blacklisted her. Blackballed her. Wow.
That's going a little, I don't know. I mean, but Andy, you know how Andy does with the conspiracy, theories. I don't know if we're going to say that or not. All of this is speculation, by the way. What we do know is that her album sales weren't good and that she's got to do something to salvage it. Speaking of salvage something, Will Smith is out here trying to still salvage his name. He's moving forward really with what he's got going on, which obviously right now is the big movie Emancipation. Shout out to Robbie because he's there right now watching the movie. Will is going around.
Excuse us, Robbie.
I know he got the hookup. So he's going around. Will is going around to all these different theaters and showing the movie. And there's one going on tonight. So I don't want to hear about anything. I gotta wait and see it for myself. But I like what Will had to say, specifically because someone asked him in an interview what Will would say to people who are still kind of skeptical about people going to see this film, and this is what Will had to say.
For this film came out, it was October 3rd. I aired the trailer on the air. I got off the air, and a lot of people came up to me where they're like, I can't wait to see that movie. I'm definitely going. One or two people go, I don't know if I'm ready yet, obviously, because of what happened with the Oscars and everything. And I know this is a question people are asking you, but I genuinely want to know what you would say to somebody who feels that way, because I believe in second chances. I believe that you were brilliant in this, and I didn't see Will Smith up there. But what do you tell people if they say, I'm not ready yet, that it's too soon or something?
I completely understand that. If someone is not ready, I would absolutely respect that and allow them their space to not be ready. My deepest concern is my team. Antoine has done what I think is the greatest work of his entire career. I think, Bob Richardson, you was talking about, Bob did just brilliant work, and Ben, Charmaine and Naomi, Francine, the people on this team have done some of the best work of their entire careers. And my deepest hope is that my actions don't penalize my team.
Well, when we come forward, I want to get your thoughts on that.
Oh, I have some thoughts.
I'm sure you do. And we've been asking this question all along, whether we think he's paid his dues and, what we think about Emancipation and what, if it's going to be Oscar, worthy or all of these different things. When we come forward, you're still inside the Raw Report. It's KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours, now through December 20th. All of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net, and together we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
This year marks 10 years strong of Covered California providing quality, affordable health insurance. Celebrate with us at the Community Wellness Fair on Tuesday, November 29th from 1 to 5 p.m. at Center of Hope Church, located at 9550 Crenshaw Boulevard in Inglewood. Enjoy an afternoon of free health screenings, various community resources, giveaways, and free lunch while supplies last. Enrollers will be on site to answer questions and help with the enrollment process. Covered California is looking forward to celebrating 10 years strong with the community next Tuesday, November 29th. See you there.
Nacho fries are back at Taco Bell. You know, the fries covered in bold Mexican spices you dip in a warm nacho cheese sauce. You can also dunk them in nacho cheese sauce or pour the sauce onto a pile of them and create like a nacho fries nachos. The thing is that you eat them with nacho cheese sauce. That's what makes them nacho fries. Otherwise, you're just eating fries and sipping on nacho cheese sauce, and that's the wrong way. Sorry, just really passionate about nacho fries.
Nacho fries are back, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact local store for hours and participation which vary.
KBLA Talk 1580.
The thrill of victory. The thrill of victory. The thrill of victory. Yeah, man.
KBLA Talk 1580 wishes to congratulate Mayor-elect Karen Bass on her historic win as the first woman and only second African-American to serve as chief executive of the city of Los Angeles.
Congratulations, Mayor-elect Bass, and welcome back to unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and this is my very first interview, and I am proud that it's here.
We are proud to have you here. What do you want to say to the listeners of KBLA Talk 1580?
I want to say thank you from just, I'm just full of the love that I felt every place I went in the community, and I just want the listeners to know that I promise you I won't disappoint you. I will be accessible. I will never forget where I'm from, and understand that is my primary motivation.
Congratulations, Mayor-elect Karen Bass, holding all leaders accountable to you.
No matter who you voted for, no matter who you are or where you live, I will be a mayor for you.
We're KBLA Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Talk 1580. And we don't black down. We've got a lot to talk about. Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are inside the Raw Report right now. Let us continue.
Yeah, I personally wanted to know what you thought about the about Will Smith's, response when it comes to emancipation. He's like, listen, you may not be ready right now, but he's obviously concerned that it will have some effect on his team. I think that's a valid, kind of concern of his. What is your thought on just this whole thing in general? Has he paid his dues, or should he still be penalized for his actions?
Oh my God, where do I start on this? There's so much that is ticking me off about this entire thing. First of all, I'm sick of the selective outrage from black people.
Okay.
I'm sick of us. So let me get this straight. Kanye West can wear a White Lives Matter shirt. Kanye West can spew anti-Semitism. I see y'all on social media all the time defending that cat. Still! Went to Mar-a-Lago to hang out with Trump, had an anti-Semite with him, y'all still defending Kanye West today. Will Smith slaps Chris Rock on stage. We've gone over it ad nauseum on how foul he was. But you know what? Y'all better give Will Smith grace. He has done nothing but apologize for that entire moment. And all I've seen from Chris Rock is him monetizing the entire incident himself. He has said that he wants to meet with Chris Rock. Chris Rock says no, and then subsequently goes on stage and makes a mockery of Will Smith. Does he deserve to be kicked a little bit? Yeah, but for how long? I would be okay if we were the same across the board.
Yeah.
If we do the same thing to Kyrie or to Kanye or to any other African American that seems to drop the ball over the last few months or so. For some reason, and I think because he's been so perfect his entire career, we love kicking Will Smith when he's down.
Yeah. Well,
and
you
that's
know,
bothering the hell out of me. Leave Will Smith alone. I cannot wait to see the movie, and I hope it's phenomenal. I hope he gets the Best Actor Oscar.
yeah, I'm sure it's going to be phenomenal. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Definitely, Will Smith, I think, is going to be just fine. He's already back on his feet. You know, he's moving forward. He's accepted his wrong. Now, in terms of Chris Rock, can he feel? You know, we can't dictate how he feels and how he feels about that moment. What he does with that moment, that's his own. I do think that you can't harbor on it too much because it's going to belabor the point, and then at some point you're sort of victimizing yourself even more. But I think that Will Smith is going to be just fine. I think we should move on and then just, you know, watch the movie.
He loves watching Will Smith drown from afar. He's I'm not going to meet with him. I'm not accepting that apology.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to work in his favor because Will Smith is always going to win.
Exactly.
He's a winner. He's a winner. There are certain people that even when they trip and they fall, they're going to get back up. You can bet on it. You know, and Will Smith he's always been one of those people to me. And so, and I root for him. And Chris Rock, I don't want anything negative or bad to happen to him as well. Like there are two black men who are, you know, they're sort of icons in this business. I think that, you know, they're great. I don't want to say role models. A lot of people don't like that, but for the most part, I'll leave it there. I just think that everybody should just go and see this film and support him.
I just think over the last 30 years, 40 years, if there's a Mount Rushmore of black icons, Will Smith's up there.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So why are we trying our best to tear down his entire legacy over one moment?
Yeah.
When we give grace to people that have done far worse than Will Smith did on that night. Was I embarrassed for us and Will when he did it? Yeah, I was like, oh, wow, that's not a good look. I thought it was a skit or something. It was a setup. Come to find out it was real, and also came to find out Will Smith is a human being. Look at that. Who would have thunk it? Leave Will Smith alone.
Leave him alone. Let's get into some business news here. Man, Frontier Airlines, I don't know if you've been paying attention to them. Now, I've flown Frontier, I think, one time, and after that one time, I said never again.
You lived to tell about it, huh?
I lived to tell about it, and actually, it was from here to New York.
Wow.
Exactly, and but it was booked for me. Someone booked the, you know, and because they were asking me, you know, what are my requirements? I said whatever to get me there.
Never.
So that was my fault. It was years ago. That was my fault, and they booked me. And did not pay for the little upgrade recliner seats or anything. But anyway, so, you know, it's needless to say I've not flown Frontier since then. But recently they were in the news for, I guess, a really good special that they had going on. It was $5.99. You pay $5.99 for an entire year, all you can fly.
Fantastic, right?
You would think so. However, it's moved up to $7.99. So I guess maybe that's still a good deal. But if you look into the fine print, you can only book your flight if you want to go nationally anywhere. You can only book your flight the day before you leave. And then to go into an international flight, you have 10 days. So yeah, could it work for you? I guess if that's your thing. If you fly a lot and you don't mind you know, maybe an uncomfortable trip, then go ahead and do it. And if you're interested in that, by all means, it's still there, $7.99. But they are also in the news because of something else. They actually just nixed their entire call center. So you cannot call Frontier and get a live person on the phone right now.
I love it.
What do you love about it?
I love it because people are messy, first of all.
What?
And I think it's happening a lot. Like, you can't. Who did I try to call recently and they said you can't call them? Was it Netflix? I think it's Netflix.
Oh, really?
You can't call Netflix, I don't think.
Well, all of these companies, these big companies, are trying to cut costs.
Yeah.
So, they're laying off people like right and left. Facebook did it. Twitter's doing it. Apparently, Netflix is doing it. Frontier is doing it. And you can only reach them, which is crazy, if you go on their website and you do a live chat. Imagine being at the airport and you're trying to catch a flight or something goes wrong with your flight. You have to go online at the airport. You can't call anybody. You have to go online and start a live chat. Type in "help me" and then somebody responds and go through this whole thing. So you could do that, or you can reach them on social media, or you can text them on their WhatsApp. Isn't that crazy?
I think, first of all, it is crazy, and you're going to see some violence inside that airport when people get upset. Hopefully not. What I'm noticing is subscription services are taking over, though. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
They're taking over.
Yeah.
Netflix is taking over, Disney Plus, and all of that. Microsoft has got the Xbox with the whole Game Pass. Pretty soon here, because people can't afford to pay what they used to pay.
Yeah.
They're not going to go to the movies anymore. Every time I go to the movies, sans Black Panther, which was jam-packed.
Right.
Everybody's just watching stuff at home now.
Yeah.
And I think Frontier says, you know what? What if we did the same thing? $599 every year. Fly where you want to go. Just let us know a day in advance. It could work. They're just the wrong airline to do it.
Interesting. Well, in LA, I know that Frontier is not going LAX. So you have to go either out of Burbank or Ontario or something like that, but it ain't LAX, so
no.
So that's not necessarily convenient, but that's a good point. I never really thought about it like they're starting a subscription base.
It's a brilliant idea.
It actually could be pretty brilliant if it works for you in your schedule, but I was looking into it just to see if it's worth it, right? I'm an American Airlines girl. But I was like, okay, just on some days that I feel like getting up and getting out, it could work, right? But then I was looking at all the different airports that I would fly into, and they don't fly into them. They're like, sorry, this route is unavailable at this moment. So you got to read the fine print, and you have to like really do some research before you just pay $800 for a whole pass for the year.
So you flying from Houston, Texas, thinking you flying into LAX, they're gonna drop you off in Bakersfield.
They might drop you off in Bakersfield, and it might be like a 28-hour, like a layover somewhere for many, many, many hours before you get home. So it's definitely worth looking into. But yeah, you can't get anybody on the line, so just be careful with that as well.
It just proves the old adage, you get what you pay for.
That's true.
Right?
And I was thinking about it, think about back in the day when you didn't even have the automated lines. You only spoke to someone. If you called a department store, you only spoke to someone. Now it's all like automated. And so it seems like I don't even know if they'll do an automated system or not, if there's an actual line that you can call. I don't know.
Do you think there's a real person behind the live chat?
Even that, I'm not sure, because now they have like artificial intelligence that kind of like, they're like, what are your concerns? And if you have like little words that are, key words, they'll direct you. Did we answer your question? And they'll kind of, it's tricky. Hopefully nobody listening right now will get caught up in that whole mess. But yeah, when we come forward, we have the question of the day. I don't know if you're going to like it or not, but we are going to talk Cardi B and Nicole Arbor, who is a Canadian comedian. But right now, we've got news and traffic. Stay right there. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
Nighttime is the right time for Danny Morrison on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Island, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The U.S. Postal Service has announced its shipping deadlines for packages to arrive by Christmas Eve. The deadline for regular ground service is December 17th. Priority mail must be sent by December 19th, and the Priority Mail Express deadline is December 23rd. New data shows life insurers paid out a record $100 billion in benefits last year. The American Council of Life Insurers reports that's a jump of nearly 11% from 2020. The amount of life insurance policies sold last year also went up just over 6%. Former President Trump is seeing even more criticism for his recent meeting with Kanye West and white national Nick Fuentes at his Florida resort. The Orthodox Union released a statement saying Trump's association with them is deeply worrisome. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Island from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Has your household been hit with COVID-19? Learn about a research study from the comfort of home. We are looking at ways to help people with COVID-19 feel better faster. Learn more at active6study.org/radio. That's activ6study.org/radio.
This is a rather bold pronouncement, but we think we can back it up. If you come across a radio frequency anywhere putting more variety and more diversity on the air than KBLA Talk 1580, we sure would like to hear about your discovery. You got to have vision. You can search, but we are confident that you won't find more shows covering more topics, hosted by a more diverse and inclusive lineup of talkers than the squad we have assembled here at KBLA Talk 1580.
This is the time, brothers. This is the time.
We've got something for everybody.
That's right.
Health and healing, history and humor, issues and events, empowerment and entertainment, all in one station.
What's really going on?
Free enterprise, you dig? KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes.
Oh yeah. We got a lot to talk about.
King Kong ain't got on me.
On Saturday, December 3rd, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., come out and enjoy a free community health fair, co-sponsored by Pleasant Hill Baptist Church Health Ministry and the Central Neighborhood Health Foundation. The fair will be held on the church grounds at 2009 West Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, with free health screenings, refreshments, jumpers for the kids, a visit from Santa, entertainment with a DJ, free food giveaway for the first 100 people who attend, as well as raffles and other prizes. There will also be open enrollment, health insurance representatives present. Attendees can get free blood pressure, glucose, HIV and STD testing, a dental screening, fluoride varnish, COVID testing, vaccines and boosters. Flu shots will also be offered. Housing navigation, mental health support, and education services will be available. Don't miss this free community health fair. Tell somebody and receive the gift of preventative health services this season. See you all on Saturday, December 3rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 2009 West Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in Los Angeles.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
Prosperity Market, LA's mobile Black Farmers Market, invites you to support Black-owned businesses this holiday season. Prosperity Market gives you the gift of convenient, curated shopping with in-person and online markets. Starting November 25th, Prosperity Market's holiday gift sets will be available to order online, featuring snacks, goodies, self-care essentials, and produce from Black-owned businesses and farms. Place your order by December 15th for pickup or local delivery on December 17th. To shop Prosperity Market in person, visit the holiday pop-up on December 3rd at the original Farmers Market on 3rd Street near the Grove. For more information, visit prosperitymarketla.com. That's prosperitymarketla.com. And follow on Instagram at prosperity.market. That's prosperity.market.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580 is pleased to announce a can't-miss community event.
It's a celebration.
Welcome home, Mayor-elect Karen Bass.
Oh my God.
Join us for this free public event as we celebrate Mayor-elect Bass's historic victory. There'll be entertainment, food trucks, and a diverse array of vendors, along with attendance and participation from community leaders, elected officials, celebrities, business owners, and other notables. KBLA Talk 1580 will host Mayor-elect Bass on the main stage as we reflect on the importance of this moment and what it means for the Black community, women, and all Angelinos who believe in the limitless potential of our amazing city. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 and our social media platforms for all the important details. We look forward to celebrating with Mayor-elect Karen Bass and you.
We gon' celebrate your party with you. Come on now, it's a celebration.
You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
Look, they gave up 2 options, stripping or lose. Used to dance in a club right across from my school. I said dance now, don't get it confused. Had to set the record straight cause it's love to assume. Mama couldn't give it to me, had to get it in shoes. Lord only knows how I got it in shoes. I was covered in dollars, now I'm dripping in jewels. I play with my money, might as well spit in my food. Hating my guts, now they swear we was cool. Went from making tuna sandwiches to making the news. I started speaking my mind and tripping my views. Real, only thing fake is the boobs. Getting money, go hard, motherfucking right. Never been a fraud in my motherfucking life. Getting money, go hard, damn fucking right. Stun on these out of motherfucking spite. Ain't no running aboard me, went for nothing to glory. I ain't telling y'all to do it, I'm just telling my story. I don't hang with these cause these be corny, and I got enough bras, y'all ain't gotta support me. I went from rag to riches, went from wig to lint. Only person in my fam to see 6 figures. The pressure on your shoulders feel like boulders. Where you gotta make sure that everybody's straight. Stab you in your back while they smiling in your face. Talking crazy on your name, trying not to catch a case. I waited my whole life just to shit on. Climb to the top floor so I could spit on. Said I was just trying to chill and make bangers. Tell all these old they in danger. The thing on my hip whip, it's in the shape. That's what I call a waist trainer. You gon' run up on who and do what? I think y'all got your story screwed up. I came here to bar, is you nuts? I don't want your punk man, I'm too tough. I'm the one that's killing shit, hands down. If
You were checking out the Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. I tell you what, Cardi can go a little bit. You know what I realized just this past weekend? Nicki Minaj ain't got Nan Grammy. Nan?
Not at all.
That's crazy. She's been in Young Money for a long time. All them tracks she was on.
What is it? Why?
You tell me. You know how I feel about her. I just think that, people see that name and go, nah, I'm cool. I'm cool on that.
Yeah, I just wonder if, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the politics behind award shows and Grammys, something of that status. But I'll say that sometimes it's worth not dealing with certain things. You get what I'm saying? Like turning it away.
You think that's why Chris Brown got shut down?
I don't know, because it's been so long. First of all, Chris Brown is not a like a firecracker. He doesn't come and wild out. He's not Kanye. He doesn't just go and speak out, out of turn. He doesn't do those types of things. So, with that being said, I'm not sure. Obviously they said that there's like a creative differences there, but with Nicki Minaj, I don't know. I love her talent, but as a person, she just seems nasty.
And you think that the voters say, I'm not going to give her a Grammy?
Baby.
Ooh.
Name one classic Nicki Minaj album.
Her first one.
Yeah, the what is it? The Pink,
Pink,
what is it?
Pink Friday? Is that
Pink Friday?
Was it classic, though?
The one with Moment for Life on it? The one with Super Bass on it? Absolutely.
Andy. Oh, my goodness.
You got to give her props, man.
Woo.
I think it was a dope album. I just don't know about it being classic.
I looked it up and saw what song she was on. She was on that Truffle Butter track with Weezy and Drake. That was nominated for a Grammy. I think Moment for Life was nominated. She was nominated a bunch of times, never got it. Even with Drake on it, you would think, they're going to give it to her. They just see that name and go,
I'd love to talk to the board of the Grammys. I'd love to see what the reason is behind that.
What's really going to tick her off is Cardi already got a Grammy. That first Bodak Yellow album, what's the name of that album?
Invasion of Privacy.
Invasion of Privacy got Best Rap Album Grammy that year. And Lotto about to get that Best New Artist this year.
Which was a classic album, by the way.
Ooh. So,
Cardi B?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Lotto going to have one. I think Meg going to have one.
Yeah.
Everybody going to have one except Nicki.
Well, that's the talk of the town. I think Nicki should just get off of social media because people are going to let her have it and remind her every single day that she doesn't have one. And then they're going to pit her against all these other women. which I hate to see anyway. But it's just, I think that people should get back to what they love and do it for the love and the passion of what they got in it for.
Thank you.
And stop worrying about the Grammys and the awards and the accolades and all that stuff. And just, put your head down and keep making dope music.
Well, she hasn't helped her cause at all going after the Grammys a few weeks ago. She's like, they tried to put me in the pop category. Now they're gonna be like, so you gonna call us out in public?
Yeah, well, I mean, if I'm her, I'm like, y'all not giving me no Grammy anyway, so let me pop my stuff off, you know?
That's a good point. By the way, can I give a shout out real quick?
Of course.
The Curtis Family C-Notes.
Yes.
Love them. One of my favorite Instagram pages for sure. If y'all don't know about them, they're this family band. They sing and they play live instruments and everything. They're in my DMs right now. They're saying they're checking out the show as we speak. You probably saw them on America's Got Talent season 16 where they blew up the spot. But I want y'all to follow them. The Curtis Family C-Notes on Instagram. Check them out. Fire.
Yeah, and they're definitely rocking with us on YouTube as well. Shout out to Mimi Davis. Shout out to Nola Curtis. We see you. Marcus Atkins is still in the building, and they are they got the comments lit right now talking about. Nola said music industry is corny. That's why Nicki ain't got a Grammy. Okay, could be. Mimi says Cardi is too wild for me, and Marcus made a good point as well. Megan has 3 already.
Does she already have 3?
Have 3. Mimi says, I love Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah, I really love her just because she continued to go to school. That's my biggest reason for loving Megan Thee Stallion. She is a college grad, and I love the messaging behind that. Her music is cool.
Doesn't match up.
It's cool, but I just feel like, okay, I love that she's proving you could be smart and, like you can back it up, right? But speaking of Cardi B, let's get to this whole question of the day. But I'm gonna tell you what's going on, so that you are not left in the dark. She posted on Instagram a video. If you remember, on Halloween, she was her husband and the 2 kids. They all dressed up. Is it the Joker? Offset. Joker. Okay, Offset was the Joker, and she recently posted a video of him. He's in his full costume and he's holding a fake gun like the Joker would, and he's talking about this song, but it's definitely violent, talking about killing people or whatever. So the Canadian comedian Nicole Arbor, she went ahead and she said, listen, she said, man, few weeks after his cousin was murdered over a dice game, Offset's making new music about shooting people and shooting places up. Not a single thing was learned. Now, I don't know. I don't know if that was, I guess it was new. I don't know if the song was new or if Offset was just, doing a new video. I'm not sure. But Cardi B responds and she says, he hasn't even been to a studio since Take died. So WTF are you talking about? Well, Nicole, I guess she was corrected and she said, my bad, y'all. Cardi B just posted this and I was sure it was Offset rapping about murder with a fake gun. Honestly, my bad. That's not what the video is. Whatever the case is, he's still showing some violence, right? So they go back and forth. It gets a little crazy and messed up.
Boy, does it.
It does. If you want to go on Twitter and see the feud, it gets a little bad. But the question, I guess, ultimately is the people who were close to Takeoff. Is it now an obligation to remove violence, remove the gun talk, remove all of that stuff from your lyrics? And what does that say about you if you continue to do that?
You and I have gone through this too. I think is the phrase of the night tone deaf.
Okay, yeah, tone deaf is yeah. Okay.
Not being self-aware. Is that where we're going tonight?
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand. You just lost Takeoff, man.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you put anything out there that promotes violence? There's nothing in you, nothing intrinsic in you that says, we can't put this out.
Yeah.
We can't dress up carrying a gun with any character out there. We just lost a loved one. We can't. What is it about our community?
Mm-hmm.
We will scream that we got too many drugs in our community. And we on radio rapping about drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Or we don't like women being raped in our community, but we'll get on a rap song and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
What is wrong with us that we don't understand? Music is a part of the problem. We don't want to admit it. I love hip-hop.
Yeah.
It made my career.
Mm-hmm.
When do we finally put a mirror in front of our faces and go, you know what, this music, there is a connection between the creation of this music and the violence within our communities.
Well, I mean, to your point just now, you said music made your career. Similarly, the artists who put out this music, it's made their career, and they could possibly say, you know what, that's my brand. And I don't, that's not all that I rap about, but just sometimes, and they'll often say, this is my life, right? I'm basing it on, you know, a part of my life and how I grew up and what they've seen in the streets and so on and so forth. So in a way, I could understand that. It's funny, I saw Jay-Z on the David Letterman introducing, what was it? It's a Netflix show.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's no need to introduce, or this person doesn't need to introduce, something like that. I'm butchering it. But anyway, Jay-Z was on the David Letterman special, and he was stating how it's really a lie a lot for a lot of these rappers. They're really kind of lying about, you know, when they first get started and they're talking about that street life, that a lot of it is lying. And David Letterman is like, really? You know, it's a lie? And he was like, yeah, it's a lie. So, but some of them will say it really is real. So just because they are close to someone who lost their life in the streets, do I have to change up my life completely?
Yes.
The thing that made me successful.
Yes.
I agree with you.
When do we change the narrative? How long have rappers been saying exactly what you just said? I'm just preaching about what's on these streets. We know. I'm just talking about the cats that be in my neighborhood. We know. We've seen it. We've heard it. NWA brought it to us first.
Yeah.
Y'all can't still get away with that in 2022. Not when these kids out here dying.
Okay.
And y'all dying too.
Yeah. So not only the people who are close to him, but you are holding all of them accountable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Or give us balance.
You
give us balance. I think that is a really good way to meet in the middle, if you will.
Okay.
I'm with that. If you tell me, you know what, half of my tracks on my album are going to be socially conscious, the other half going to be aggressive and gangsta, I'd say, I'll take that.
So, in your opinion, Nicole Arbor, the comedian, was right.
She was right. She's white. I think that's part of the problem.
She's white, and so she doesn't have space to talk because we're talking about hip hop and
facts. Sorry, white people can't use the N-word, and you can't join in this discussion. Sorry.
I don't think that's true.
We gotta take care of ourselves, man.
I agree with that. But if no one is she wrong for pulling
she ain't wrong
her card? Like, is she wrong for speaking on an issue that is kind of factual? Like, it's like, listen, you didn't learn anything. He just died a few weeks ago. You still haven't learned anything? Is she? I feel like she's got to just. Because white people partake in the culture as well, in hip hop as well.
They buy 70% of hip hop, by the way.
So I'm just saying. So this is not a black. I mean, it is. It's so many layers to it. It definitely is a black issue as well. But I feel like anybody can look at you and be like, listen, I don't feel like just because you're white, you can't partake in this conversation.
I just have a problem with white people being paternalistic with our communities, thinking they can come and speak on something that, if you look back historically, they're part of the reason that we are killing each other in our neighborhoods. I don't like them speaking out on us. That being said, I'm glad that she lit the fire, because I looked through that thread and, you know, brothers and sisters were like, that is a bad idea.
Yeah, I agree with you more if white people were speaking negatively on us. Like, don't come into the cookout, start trying to move things around. Like, you just sit down somewhere. Don't, you know what I mean? But like, if you're saying something that's positive, that could really, you know, help us out and make us think. I mean, because right or wrong, it brought a lot of attention to this Cardi B issue and Offset thing. It brought a lot of attention to it. So
she was absolutely white.
When we come forward, we are going to have the motivation moment of the day. I actually really, really like this. I don't know if you're watching the whole World Cup, you know, games and all that stuff. Okay. I am. And U.S. is about to get down tomorrow. And we'll talk a little bit more about it on the other side. It's KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
UC academics picket campuses in the largest strike of the year. Maisha Cairo here with your K Black Minute News, brought to you by CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. Around 48,000 academic workers at all 10 UC campuses went on strike mid-November, shutting down classrooms and research labs in the largest employee walkout at any academic institution in history. The postdoctoral scholars, teaching assistants and associate instructors, grad student researchers, and academic researchers are represented by the United Auto Workers Union in contract negotiations with the UC system. Bargaining has been going on for months, and while UC officials recently called for third-party mediators, negotiations continue without one. Generally, students are supportive, although some classes have been canceled, and students are reported to be walking out in honor of their educators.
When you're the victim of a car accident, who goes to bat for you is crucial. We're MVP Accident Attorneys, the personal injury pros. Hiring the right law firm can be the difference between a rewarding settlement and striking out. When it comes to getting the maximum compensation you deserve, our team hits it out of the park. Call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys at 833-MVP-WINS for a free case review. Call 833-MVP-WINS.
Call on me, your MVP.
Congratulations to this week's KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week, LA County Department of Children and Family Services. LA County Department of Children and Family Services promotes child safety and well-being by partnering with communities to strengthen family. Congratulations, LA County DCFS.
Is your job recession-proof? Now might be the perfect time to switch careers and become an IT professional with My Computer Career. IT is listed as one of the top recession-proof professions. You could have your dream job in just months, not years. No experience needed. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Still blazed up inside your ride report for your Monday night ride.
Yes, again, shout out to Mimi and Nola Curtis. She said this is Mama C. Hey, Mama C, we see you. They are loving this conversation as well. There's definitely rape culture in hip hop. I miss conscious rap like KRS-One. I know that's right.
That's right.
That's your guy as well. White people partake in the culture and sometimes appropriate the culture as well. True that. Mm-hmm. I love this. I love this conversation, you guys. Keep it going, and we appreciate that. I definitely want to give the shout out of the day for the motivational moment, which is Tyler Adams, who is a part of the USA team on the FIFA World Cup 22. Okay, so yes, the US, they played England. I think that was Friday. They played England and they tied at 0-0, right? So they're going on to tomorrow to play Iran. Here's the thing about it. There is some I don't know, turmoil. I don't know if that's the right word, but there's something going on because when the USA came out, they put on their social media of the Iranian flag and they removed the emblem. But it was to show support of the Iranian women, the protests that are happening for the women. And Iran, of course, the officials are having such a huge problem with it. Removing their emblem, they say, is sort of like removing God from their flag. Oof. So they are trying to go after the FIFA officials, FIFA World Cup. They're saying sanction them. You know, somehow we need to. They need to get in some sort of trouble for what they've done. But see, when I mention that because when I play this clip, you'll hear a little bit of that sort of undertone of bite. There's an Iranian reporter who is asking, Tyler Adams is his name, who is one of the players on the U.S. Team, the USA. So you'll hear what I'm saying when I play this clip. Let's go ahead and play this right now. This is Tyler Adams. Right now.
You say you support the Iranian people, but you're pronouncing our country's name wrong. Our country is named Iran, not Iran. Please, once and for all, let's get this clear. Second of all, are you okay to be representing a country that has so much discrimination against black people in its own borders? And we saw the Black Lives Matter movements over the past few years. Are you okay to be representing the US? Meanwhile, there's so much discrimination happening against black people in America.
My apologies on the mispronunciation of your country. That being said, There's discrimination everywhere you go. One thing that I've learned, especially from living abroad in the past years and having to fit in different cultures and kind of assimilate into different cultures, is that in the U.S. we're continuing to make progress every single day. Growing up for me, I grew up in a white family with obviously an African American heritage and background as well. So I had a little bit of different cultures, and I was very very easily able to assimilate in different cultures. So not everyone has that ease and the ability to do that, and obviously it takes longer to understand. And through education, I think it's super important. Like you just educated me now on the pronunciation of your country. So. It's a process. I think as long as you see progress, that's the most important thing.
Give it up for Tyler Adams, who handled that so beautifully. Once this Iranian reporter sort of came for him, he had this bite. He said, number one, you are pronouncing our country wrong. It's Iran and it's not Iran. Let's get that clear. That's what the reporter is saying. And then he questions him on, do you think it's right to represent black people basically in the country that you're from, where there's so much discrimination? And the fact that Tyler Adams, who is about to go forth and represent the United States in the World Cup against Iran, as a matter of fact, he handled it so beautifully. And I thought he was such a leader in doing that. And so to me, motivational, because no matter how people come at you, no matter how people try to line you up, because you're looking at this black man, right? Here's a black man, and I don't know if he was thinking that he wasn't going to answer this properly, or I don't know what the reporter was thinking, but he handled it very, very well.
I think there is a number of people outside of this country look at we African Americans and go, how can you go and fight for this country?
Yeah.
There's even black people within our neighborhoods that say, how do you go to war for this country? How do you join the service and rock that red, white, and blue flag on your uniform?
Yeah. Do you think that there was a valid question?
It is. Do you want to go and put yourself on the line for a country that could not care less about you? I don't know.
War is one thing. Games that actually mean a lot.
Anything to where
other
you
countries.
have to represent this country, I think it's a fair criticism.
But
they could not care less about you. Why are you out here rocking the red, white, and blue, putting your hand over your heart, standing on the podium, and grabbing a gold medal for the country that could not care less about you?
So, but my question to that is, do you just lay dormant, just sitting there and living in a country and just not participating and not represent? Do you lay dormant? Because as much as the U.S. and like he said, everywhere, every place discriminates to some degree. Do you or do you take pride in where you're from, and do you stand up and say, I'm going to represent regardless?
I think I would say that I'm doing it for my ancestors, and I'm not doing it for the country per se. Mm-hmm. Like, even when I go and cast a ballot, when I vote every single cycle, I ain't voting for the people in this country. I'm voting for the people that died before me, that died for me to have the right to be able to go and do that. Because they go, how do you vote for these politicians? Couldn't I care less about the black community? I'm voting because people died for it. I'd probably be the same way if I was on that soccer team. I'm here representing a whole lot of cats that didn't have the chance to be on this team. I'm here representing my forefathers, man. That's probably the way I'd spin it.
Mimi Davis says the Iranian reporter tried it. I agree. But Tyler Adams handled his business. I loved his demeanor and response. I completely agree with you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the motivational moment of the night.
Another bomb report. Appreciate you, Queen.
Absolutely.
When we come forward, we got some Upon Further Review clips. We've also got some open mics checking in tonight, right? And I will read through your comments all throughout our socials in my DMs and text messages about the topic of conversation tonight. 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. You're experiencing the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580 right now, news and traffic. Come on, let's go.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Island, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The U.S. Postal Service has announced its shipping deadlines for packages to arrive by Christmas Eve. The deadline for regular ground service is December 17th. Priority mail must be sent by December 19th, and the Priority Mail Express deadline is December 23rd. New data shows life insurers paid out a record